everyone. I hope you all had an enjoyable holiday, and now let's get back to work. Welcome to our QPR webinar, Process Mining for Process Improvement. Please check out our website for more upcoming webinars. At the same time, next week, we will have the Process Mining for Process KPI reporting. During the webinar today, if you have any questions, please leave them in the question box, and we'll be happy to answer them. And the presenter today is no other than Mr. Teemu Lehto, Vice President in Process Mining at QPR. Hello, Teemu, how are you?
Hi, Yen. I'm really good, really good. How are you?
I'm good, good to hear. Okay.
Excellent. So let me start sharing my screen, and here we go. I hope you can see the screen all right, and also hear the voice. So this is where we begin. Process mining for process improvement. And here, so the agenda today, we are going to talk about how to use process mining for supporting process improvement initiatives. Basically means how to use process mining to make your company more efficient, to make your processes better. And I'm going to have some theory stuff first, and then a live demo after that. And then we have plenty of time for questions and answers. So please feel free to put the questions into the question area of the GoToWebinar. All right, let's get started. Couple of words about QPR. We have sold more than 1 million licenses, and there's more than 2,000 customers using QPR in more than 50 countries. And process mining projects, we have delivered more than 400 process mining projects. Process mining is our main business at the moment, but we have strong background in business process management, including enterprise architecture and performance management. And we are founded in '91 and headquartered in Helsinki and stock listed in Helsinki Nasdaq Stock Exchange. So today, I want to talk about 4 topics first, and then show the demo of 4 things. So I hope you maybe recognize these words: Deming cycle, BPM lifecycle, stakeholders, and process excellence. They will be familiar to you after this webinar. And then in the demo, I will be talking about as-is discovery, showing how to use process mining for benchmarking and harmonization, then the very important root cause analysis, and also the conformance analysis, comparing the as-is processes with the design model. And there are other webinars by QPR also. So there are particularly webinars targeting in RPA, robotic process automation, or some other areas like IT development or digital transformation. So this is sort of the process improvement angle into process mining. First, let me start with the Deming cycle, PDCA. Kind of, I would like you to raise your hand if you already know and have a lot of experience about this. This is a very, very common method for implementing change. So we start from the plan. So we start from the planning box in the top right corner. And the idea of the planning box is that you analyze the problem. Of course, if you don't have any problems, then you don't need process mining or any other development method as well. If you don't have any problems, if you don't have any need to change anything, you just carry on. But the fact is, all the companies, all the organizations have challenges. They have challenges with the current business, and then the environment around them is changing all the time. So they are having challenges how to react to the surroundings. And nowadays, digitalization has been for many years already a very, very big challenge for many organizations, how to utilize the digital platforms to make the processes more efficient. And we can also think about now in the middle of the crisis, pandemic crisis, that in this situation also, who is able to act very quickly and make some changes in this new situation. So the thing is, first you analyze the problem. So you identify the problem and you analyze it. And then you identify the root causes. What is it that causes the problems? And based on your analysis, you then plan the improvement. And this is an area where process mining is really, really useful in planning. So it helps you to analyze the problem, helps you to identify the root causes, and based on that information, you plan the improvement. Well, then there's the do box. So you implement the change. That is something that is outside process mining. So process mining is an analysis methodology, like part of the data mining, part of the business process management, sort of the analysis stage. So you implement the change. Process mining is giving you a good understanding of where should you implement the change and what should you do. That's the planning part, but then you implement the change. When you do the implement the change, which is the do part, something changes in your business, in your real operations. Now that change will be visible in the transactional systems that you use to run your business. I mean the ERP systems, the CRM system, all the help desk IT systems that you are using in your organization, patient healthcare systems. When you implement a change, there will be changes that will be recorded into the system. People will do different things. Maybe there's some robotic process automation. Whatever the change was, that will be recorded there into your IT systems. Now, the third box, check, is all about studying the results and also at the same time seeing what is working and then identifying issues. And this is the second box that is super active to be done with process mining. So process mining, you study, well, people said they implement the change. Now in the checkbox, you check, okay, what has really changed? So you study the results with process mining and identify the issues. And now, depending on whether this worked, so whether your solution that you implemented in the do step, if it works well, then in the act step, you should standardize the solution for all of your business. So basically, you can do the do in a smaller scale, and then in the act, if it works, then implement, standardize a solution for all of your businesses. And then also make sure that that solution is implemented, standardized, taking into real use and stays in the real use. So implement the continuous monitoring, which is also very important part of process mining. So looking at the process improvement from the process mining point of view, the key steps where you use process mining are the planning step and then checking and acting step. So you analyze the problems, study the results, and then you do the continuous monitoring. The implementation of the change is a really important part of the process improvement. There you need the specialists who are actually, who will go there. There's a change management activities, there's system updates, there's training, there's new process development kind of stuff. And that is sort of outside the scope of process mining. So you need to have those people together with you to do the doing step. Okay, this is a Deming cycle. A bit more bigger view of this is the BPM life cycle. It's very well aligned with the previous one, but there's a couple of extra topics I wanted to introduce this as well. So first of all, this starts from the process identification. So no matter what your organization is, you are having a huge amount of processes. There is the order to cash process, you are selling something. There's purchase to pay, you are buying something into There are all kinds of HR processes and financial processes, warehousing processes, logistics, supply chain management. The amount of processes is really big. You need to identify your processes. You need to have an understanding of what are your key processes and what are the processes that are adding value to your end customers. So there's a process identification step. That is particularly important step for process mining, because process mining operates on the case level. So we give every case a unique case identifier, and then we can see what happens for that one case, and then we have 1 million cases, and we can see what happens in the whole process. But the case ID is just one way to look at the business. You can look at the purchasing process from the purchase order point of view, or you can look at the process from the invoice point of view. They share the same activities, but the results are a little bit different. If you look at the invoices, you can see how many invoices are connected to the purchase orders. If you look at the purchase orders, you can see that, okay, do these purchase orders ever go into the end goal? And is there actually an invoice that we get for the purchase order? Okay, so process identification. So then you do the process discovery as the first box. You get the as-is process model. And process mining is the way to get the as-is process model. That's definitely the best way nowadays. You should always do the as-is process model with process mining. You can then have that at least as a discussion. You can have that for the discussion within your team and the workshops, that workshop groups, that is this kind of accurate picture of the as-is process model. Have we got the data from the right systems and so on? But as-is process model, you should get it with process mining in order to do the process analysis. There you find for the weaknesses, insights on the weaknesses and their impact. So you look at the process analysis, you see the bottlenecks, you see the repeating work, you see exceptions, exceptional cases, long lead times. And in the BPM life cycle, in contrast to the Deming cycle, which is more simple, here your tool is the process redesign. So you redesign the process, you do the process implementation. That's the way how you get the design model. And then you deploy that, and then you go to the process monitoring. So it's kind of then you have the continuous monitoring, and then you check the conformance and performance insights. Is your organization conforming to this process model that I have made, or you have made together as the new to-be process model? BPM lifecycle is a tested way, proven way how to make your organization better. And with process mining, you can get the cycle working very well. Process mining gives you the as-is process model. It shows you the weaknesses of the current way of operation and the exceptions. It helps you to create the new to-be process model, but it doesn't do it. So it can point out you variations that are working very well. So you can actually choose a combination of those variations that seems to work very well in this process. But there's a human decision required in order to do the to-be process model. But once you have it, process mining again gives you the conformance and performance insights into how your organization is operating against those design models. And this BPM lifecycle you can do for all of your processes in your organization, and there can easily be, let's say, 5 or 10 key processes that you want to start with. All right, moving forward, who is using this information? The stakeholders is a very important part. So I've listed 6 stakeholders over here that are benefiting and that are heavily involved with process mining when it comes to making process improvements. First of all, there's the management team. There are a lot of responsibilities in management team where process mining should give tangible benefits. The CEO and chief operating officer level, those guys are in charge of the actual operations, and process mining is giving a accurate fact-based picture of the operations. So those people are really in the driving seat. Then there are other management team members, CIO, information officer, of course interested in how the systems and digital transformation, digital processes are working. There are there can also be like digital transformation officers. Then there's the head of the BPM sort of people, but then there's also the finance directors, CFO, who are like interested in the waste and the rework that is being done in the organization, how to cut those costs. And then of course the HR people, who are worried about how people how to educate people and give them training so that they can work efficiently. Management team is kind of the key when it comes to process improvement. Then there's another, the management team. But now in a process organization, you do have process owners. So process, these end-to-end processes like order to cash, purchase to pay, you have already given the responsibility to look at the whole end-to-end process, how it works, how individual functions are delivering and contributing to the process, like order to cash, how the logistics is working, warehousing is working, new product introduction is working, R&D is working, finance, and all those functions, how they work together. So process owners are sort of the key persons for you when you are doing process mining. They should own the end-to-end process mining models and the as-is diagrams. Now the process analysts, those are the ones who work together with the process owners, and process analysts are there actually on the business side to analyzing how the process goes, what are the problems, and how can we improve the situation. So process analysts are the people who utilize all the results and findings from those process mining models. So if the process owner is the owner of the model, process analyst is the main users for those models to make the findings when it comes to this as-is situation. Now the process participants, they are the people who are actually working there in the processes. So those are the people who do the work, type in the transactions, and based on all that work, you find out how the process is going on. So process participants are the ones, when you implement the change, you need to make them to change their way of working. And process mining is a very efficient method to show those people what is the result of working in a certain way, how it affects the end of the process. So you can use process mining in your change management communication programs. System engineers, those are the people who implement the changes in the IT systems or other systems as well. So they implement the changes in the systems, and sometimes you see from the ERP that that the ERP is not used in an optimal way, and it may be beneficial to just make a change in the system. Or sometimes you see that robotic process automation could solve some manual task with a lot of challenges. So system engineers are the ones who implement those changes into the systems so that the processes would run more fluently. System engineers need the input from the process analysts in pointing out what are the problem points in the process at the moment. And then the last box is the methodology expertise. So methodology expertise for process mining. A large organization have a specific BPM center of excellence where they have the methodological experience and knowledge sharing of how process mining is done in our organization, and how can you use all the root cause analysis, conformance analysis, and better yet, the artificial intelligence features. And in a smaller organization, it can just be that there's just one methodology expert who is the BPM center of excellence for process mining. And in some other organizations, even smaller ones, it can be that that is outsourced for somebody else, like a company like QPR. But the BPM Center of Excellence is important to fueling this whole stakeholder so that everybody gets the benefits. Okay, let's move on. So the last slide I wanted to show is about the process excellence. So we want to make processes better. We want to improve the processes, and we offer 3 important key performance indicators to measure the success of the process. We say that it's good to measure the success from the point of view of the customer, giving the customer satisfaction, the happy customer. Point of view of the flow, the internal efficiency, is our own work efficient? And then from the point of view of the process automation, have we automated steps so that we can reach even better efficiency and hopefully better customer satisfaction? So these 3 things, when you think about any process in your organization, you can just think that how big part of our sales orders from customers, how big part we have made the customer satisfied, like the on time in full delivery. Is it like a 10% satisfied or 90% satisfied? You better be in a higher end in that measure. The next point, internal efficiency. Did we do it first time right, or was it the big hassle, rework, and bottlenecks and long lead times? If the internal efficiency is there, then very good. And then the automation rates, how many orders were no-touch orders, where we even didn't need to do manual tasks at all. So combining these 3 together gives us the process excellence measure that has all these 3 perspectives, which is the basis for the process improvement. Okay, now it's time to jump into the demo, and please feel free to have those questions in the GoToWebinar system. All right, we are now looking at the QPR Process Analyzer tool, which is the process mining tool, and here we have an order handling process. So we have 10,500 cases, and you see the process flow chart over here. And this is the automatically discovered process flow chart, which serves as the basis for the process improvement Deming cycle and finding the bottlenecks and seeing how actually the process is going in your organization. There's a lot of functionality over here. So first of all, I can freely pick how much details I want to see in terms of the activity boxes and in terms of the flows. So if you are used to look at very, very nice looking simple process flow chart, that's great. But the fact is that the real as is fact-based processes are not that straightforward. There's so many exceptions and exceptional activities taking place that these flow charts very quickly tend to be more like a spider webs. But that's not a problem, because in reality, that's just how the things in your organization are. And now our job is to find out what are the big, most common roots in these processes, and how can we make that how can we make the whole better, so that the very sort of inefficient exceptions, how we can cut those away and replace with better best practices. Okay, so we see the flowchart over here, and the basic flowchart settings allow you to show the amounts, how many cases are going through, like in delivery completed, 75% of the cases have gone through this, which is 7,833, and then there's the same figures also in these flows. And then we can also show in the duration of the flows. So I can see that from the customer pickup to the delivery completed 1 day, 15 hours. And let's say invoice created to payment received 17 days, 23 hours, and 67% go through this route. So we can have all that information there. We can even have the cost KPIs over here. Let's say I'm gonna see the average cost. So average cost per case going through the delivery completed 618 euros. It could be like a order line, average cost of the order line. The average cost here is 659, and in customer pickup, the average cost is more, it's more than 1,000. So clearly the more expensive cases tend to go through this route. There's a lot of ways how to utilize this information, and it all comes from the simple log file format, which is extracted from directly from the ERP systems. So with the connectors, you just connect to the ERP system and get the data. Okay, so this is how the process flowchart looks like. Now let's see a little bit more regarding the process improvement cycle. So first of all, we wanted to see some process harmonization. So and benchmarking. So let's simplify the picture a little bit, taking the like here. And now let's say that I'm interested in how the process is actually going in different regions. So I have a Dallas region over here. Just simply clicking this gives me the process in Dallas. So you see the difference. This is the process in the whole organization. And if I click on here, this is the process, how it goes in Dallas. So in Dallas, picking done, let's say shipment sent, they are done in 93%. And then if I look at the whole picture, picking done is done in 89%. So I can select whatever part of the organization and just simply see the flow chart in that part. Okay, this is a way to see the whole flow chart, whole business, and one individual business. But better yet, I can show that in the same picture. So if I want to see, let's say, the Chicago, on top of the flow chart over here, I make this as the criteria, and now I can see with the red color. So I see that I selected the Chicago, and we see here that delivery changed in 13% of the cases in Chicago and in only 3% of the cases in the other regions. So in Chicago, there's more of this delivery changed. There's also more of the customer pickups, and there's more of the products being returned. 24% of the products being returned are in Chicago, and in the other areas only 1. So just clicking this benchmark on top of the others gives me the comparison. And this is also immediately the tool for the business process and business improvement people to see the differences in any of the dimensions of their organization. For example, I can still have the region here, and I can now say that, okay, I'm also interested in the product group. So I want to limit my analysis to, let's say, to the business, to the jeans only. So I click on here. So now I'm only looking at the jeans products, and the comparison for jeans products says that in Chicago, all of the jeans products go through the purchase order created, whereas the blue color means 0% over here. So nothing in Chicago goes this route, but on average, other areas, pretty much like half is going here and half is going here. So you can have you can slice and dice your data, your process, whatever way you want, and you can have the comparison and the benchmarking right over here. Okay, let me show you now the root cause. So the root cause analysis. Let's, for example, look at the long duration. So this is the long duration of the cases, and we can see that, okay, a lot of cases are taking more than 10 weeks to complete. So this is the normal cases, and this is a long tail. So having that as the, let's take the Chicago region away, and let's move this to be the root cause. And now having the root cause tool over here shows me the case attributes for the root cause. So here we see that in this red area, Dallas and kids, there's 51% and 22% of the cases are taking a long time. Whereas in this other area, customer group men and New York, only 11 or 9% of the cases are taking a long time. So this is a very quick way to find the root causes based on the business attributes in your organization, which again helps you to give a good scope for your improvement project. If your problem is a long duration over here, you can just start from from Dallas and from the customer group kids. Okay, this was one example of the root cause analysis. Now the time is limited, so let me jump into the conformance analysis. Conformance analysis is one of the most advanced analysis for the BPM area, where we compare this process flowchart, the as-is flowchart, which is displayed over here. We compare the as-is flowchart with the design model. You see here is the design model. So for the process improvement people, you typically have the design model. So this is how you would like to run your processes. And you can simply edit this in the web and just click on new boxes and have these BPMN gates that are controlling that, whether it's either shipment or customer pickup, or whether it's like here, both the confirmed delivery date and then the invoice is happening here on parallel. So you can define the parallel executions as well. And this is the design model. And now applying this design model shows us that 47% of the cases are actually conforming with our design model. 53 no. And the conformance level here, the green one, is showing as a trend, and the cases over here as the blue line. This is the violations against your design, and these are the most typical process variations that are violating this this design. And you can also open the root cause analysis to see that in which parts of the organization we have a lot of violations. And here we see that in Chicago specifically, we have a lot of violations, and for this process. So this is the conformance checking tool, and you can even automatically create the design model based on some good variations from your process model. So this is the conformance analysis that you can do and run with process analyzer. And now the last thing I wanted to show you is this the continuous monitoring area, where we have the dashboards, and there's as many dashboards as ever as ever needed, because you can define your own dashboards, but these dashboards are really important. It's really important that you can define your own KPIs, key performance indicators, and put them into the dashboard to show to those business people, management team people, and also the system engineers in your company and your process owner, that the things, how things are going and how you are doing, how your improvement project is going on against the targets. For example, here we have on-time delivery percentage over here against the target, invoice automation kind of percentages, lead times based on lead times in compared with different locations, and you can just select maybe one project that one product group that you want to see the change in the figures, or then you can just click that, okay, just show me the New York cases, and it works like this. And there's so many of these dashboards as you want to have. Like this is the more tuned towards the process RPA automation, where you see how the duration of the cases is changing. Is changing in different based on the amount of the automation level. So this is more or less what I wanted to show you about the QPR Process Analyzer tool. Obviously, you see there's much more. There's the artificial intelligence-based clustering analysis and case level predictions, and there's a enhanced BPMN builder that you can use to build your BPMN design models based on your as-is process execution, and then advanced discoveries and chart views to create your custom reporting. Okay, so getting back to the slides, I'm really happy that I got this chance to show these to you, and I hope you enjoy the webinar. So we have a process analyzer live demo tomorrow, and then we have these use case webinars for KPI reporting, which is specifically going into the details of the dashboards and how to use that in connection with your processes and your procedures and people. And then the specific webinars for the digital transformation, IT ERP development, and then for the auditors to the compliance point of view, how process mining can be used as a tool for the auditors. So you can sign up for these webinars as well. Okay, really good. Thank you very much. And let me see the questions. Okay, yes, please. Feel free to send the questions over here. And there's a question that how do you get data for the as-is process analysis? Okay, that's a very good question. And luckily, the situation is pretty simple. So in QPR, we have the QPR connectors that connect already to your ERP systems. So they are over here. So we have made pre-built connectors so that you can just configure your system so that it gets the data from SAP, for example, or Oracle or other sources, or just the database, SQL server database, and then read in the relevant data for each individual process. And that can be done. There's also one blog about this. So it's the real-time process mining. So there's more details about how to get the data and what kind of use cases we are supporting. It can be like models can be pre-built for you, like on monthly basis, or there can be models that you just give the parameters that please load me the data for this particular country, and then it loads the data from the ERP and presents you the model right away. That works specifically well in ERP systems where you can connect directly, like for example SAP HANA. Okay, some other questions? Okay, let me see. Yes, there are. How can I scroll this? Okay. So there's the hi. I take it there is a value stream map to input into process analyzer. Okay, value stream mapping is a very good initiative and very good methodology to understand how your individual process steps and activities are adding value to your end customer. And basically, you shouldn't be doing things that do not add value to your end customer. And I would recommend you to put the value stream map in this using the I would recommend you to utilize the value stream map in a couple of places. First of all, in the conformance analysis. Here, if you have done your value stream mapping, you should load it over here. Open the BPMN diagram from a file. So if you can put the value stream map as a BPMN diagram, then this is the way how you should upload the value stream map. And you should then identify whether the activities that you have over there, whether they are adding value or not. And then you should use that information when you calculate the custom KPIs for your process, like how many non-value adding steps a particular process execution has. And that is quite close to this analysis where we have the automation activities. So in Process Analyzer, you can very easily get the reports where you see that how many touchless orders you had in this region, and that is calculated based on the attribute of each event, like whether it was performed automatically or manually. And now the same information can come from the activity itself, whether it's a value adding activity, and even like how much value in euros or dollars it adds, or how much like effort there is, what's the effort cost of the activity. And then you calculate all those informations into the case level. So then you have the understanding of which parts of your organization are working well and which parts should utilize the best practices. So so that is the value stream mapping. Very good question, and also we can show that to you if you book a webinar meeting. Sorry, the one-to-one meeting with us. We can show you how to do it. Okay, another question: is the data mining of the process results part of QPR software, or the organization should implement it itself after conducting their own data analysis through the obtained results? Okay, data mining is one of the key activities the modern organizations nowadays should do. So more or less everybody is doing data mining to a certain extent. It's typically under the name of the business intelligence or something like that. That in the organization, some call it just reporting. The key here is that process mining is data mining, but it's done from the process point of view. And to show this process point of view, the process mining tool must have comparable functionality that the other data mining systems have. And we will be going to more details in the next webinar, KPR reporting. But just to give you the understanding that in QPR Process Analyzer, we have the chart view component that is based on one of the most common chart components in the world, high charts, which is used in very many data mining and reporting applications as well. So with this component, you have a free access to utilize the visualizations that you have, column charts, pie charts, everything, stacking and so on. You define the measures you want to see, you define the dimensions, like this is case count by case start quarter. And if I just add, okay, let's say case attribute, and let's select the region over here. So now it's case count by the region over here, and then let's put this to be stacking. And so the point is the functionality for data mining and reporting must be very good in these tools. And in QPR Process Analyzer, you can create all your business graphics and business analysis that you ever want from the process mining data within here in this tool. This you can then embed these results into some other web user interface, so that the people who are utilizing these results can just click in the favorite environment, and we have the federated authentication support, so providing the single sign-on, which is needed to deliver this to your whole organization. Okay, is it possible to develop custom connectors for other apps? Yes, definitely it is possible. And with the QPR process analyzer, you have the wiki information or documentation here in the wiki pages, and here you have the developers sections, data integrations and APIs, and this is all about the ETL scripting and getting the connection. So basically we support all possible connections. It can be so that the process analyzer is loading the data from your other IT system, or it can be that the other IT system is pushing the data into process analyzer whenever there are events taking place. Nevertheless, the data is available for the process mining, which then creates the process models based on the event creation scripts, because typically there is no very simple event log files in ERP systems for all possible processes. There are just database tables with timestamps, and reading that information gives the possibility to create the this process model. And with the process model, you can then of course do all the analysis, find the bottlenecks. So these data integrations and APIs is one of our key functionalities, and we would be very happy to work more with the case that you have over there. Okay, I think we have covered the time that was allocated for this webinar. Please do send us the questions if you have any left, and please book the meeting so that we can one by one go through your particular case and help you how to start and continue your process mining journey. I'm very happy for this possibility to have the webinar together with you, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.